What if the most important decision of your day happens in the first 5 minutes? Not your breakfast or emails, but how you meet the morning. Before the noise begins, imagine putting on quiet armor. Breath, clarity, presence. That's how the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, prepared for life. Yet today we wake, scroll, and rush, and something feels missing. What if there's a wiser way to start? A way that helps you not just exist, but truly live, with intention, courage, and peace. In this video, we'll uncover 10 timeless Stoic morning practices to awaken your mind, steady your spirit, and reshape how you live each day. Starting now. The first Stoic morning practice, wake up with courage, a Stoic morning reflection. When you first open your eyes in the morning, what do you reach for? Your phone? The news? The endless tide of notifications waiting to pull you into their current? It seems like a small choice, almost harmless. But in truth, that moment reveals your entire approach to life. Are you reacting, or are you choosing? The Stoics believe that how you begin your morning sets the tone for your entire day. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, once wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." It's not about checking email or scrolling through social media. It's about waking up with purpose, stepping into your day with calm, reason, and strength. Modern life, especially in America, pushes us into speed and noise from the second we wake up. But what if you paused? What if, instead of being pulled outward, you turned inward? This is where the courage of the mind begins. Not the flashy courage of heroic acts, but a quieter, firmer kind. The courage to begin your day deliberately. To steer your mind instead of letting the world drive it. A practical Stoic exercise. For the first 5 minutes after waking, don't touch your phone. Instead, sit up slowly. Take a few deep breaths, in for 4 seconds, hold for 2, out for 6. Ask yourself, what is the first good thing I will do today? So, that single question creates a space between you and the world. It calls you back to your center. Stillness doesn't require silence, incense, or a long meditation. It's found in one simple, conscious decision: to meet the day with awareness. You don't need to feel motivated, you just need to act. Get out of bed not because you feel like it, but because it is the right thing to do. That is discipline. That is inner power. Try placing a small note by your bedside. Today I choose courage over fear. Or program your alarm to play a voice recording with a Stoic quote. This small ritual can rewire your morning pattern. Instead of rushing, you're remembering. Instead of reacting, you're responding. Why does this matter? Because the way you begin your morning mirrors the way you live your life. If you start in a haze, pulled by reflex and emotion, the rest of your day often follows that path. But if you start with intention, even just one breath, one question, one step, you plant the seed of strength that will carry through the hours ahead. You don't need to change your life overnight. Stoicism never asks that. It asks only for one thing: to begin. Begin each morning by meeting yourself, not your phone. Begin with your breath, not with your calendar. Begin with a choice. The choice to be human, to be awake, to live by reason and not routine. And in those quiet, early moments, you'll find something unexpected. A sense of calm that can't be shaken. A strength that doesn't come from control, but from clarity. That is what it means to wake up with courage. Will you try it tomorrow? The second Stoic morning practice. 3 minutes of premeditatio malorum. A Stoic shield for the day. Before your feet touch the ground in the morning, your mind has already started moving. The to-do list, the concerns, the vague sense that something might go wrong. It's all there, simmering beneath the surface. Most people reach for their phones, hoping distraction will delay discomfort. But the Stoics offered a different path. Not avoidance, but preparation. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This timeless insight forms the heart of a powerful morning ritual, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Though the term may sound grim, the practice is not about pessimism, it's about resilience. It's about training the mind, quietly and intentionally, before the noise of the world rushes in. So what does this look like in real life? It begins with stillness. Upon waking, lie still for a few moments longer. Don't reach for anything. Instead, close your eyes. Not to return to sleep, but to visualize. Imagine your day unfolding. Picture the meetings, the commutes, the unexpected delays. Picture the hard conversations, the moments of frustration, the client email filled with errors, or the impatient coworker's comment that hits a nerve. Now ask yourself, how will I respond? Not react, but respond. There's a difference. A reaction is automatic. A response is chosen. This is your Stoic exercise. For 3 minutes, walk through the day in your mind, not to worry, but to rehearse. See yourself taking a deep breath instead of snapping back. See yourself listening instead of defending. Hear your voice steady and clear. Your nervous system doesn't fully distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. So this simple visualization becomes a form of mental conditioning. And the best part? It takes only 3 minutes. You don't need an hour of meditation or a mountain retreat. Just 3 minutes, lying in your bed, running through a scenario or two, and watching yourself meet them with clarity and calm. Some might ask, isn't this just expecting trouble? But the Stoic answer is, trouble will come whether you expect it or not. The goal is not to anticipate disaster, but to practice grace in the face of life's inevitable friction. Think of it as a vaccine, a mental shield, not against pain itself, but against panic and poor judgment when pain arrives. You can whisper a few quiet affirmations to yourself. If traffic is bad, I will breathe and listen to music. If someone speaks unkindly, I won't reflect it. I'll respond with calm. These aren't mantras for control. They're reminders of your power to choose. In the modern world, where so much feels outside our grasp, this ritual gives something back, the power of preparedness. And it's more than mental. It becomes emotional and even spiritual resilience. You stop being surprised by hardship and start meeting it like an old acquaintance. You nod, greet it, and carry on, unchanged in your values. Try it tomorrow morning. Set no grand expectations. Just take 3 minutes before anything else. Close your eyes and walk into your day with your mind already steady. That's the quiet armor of a Stoic. Invisible, but deeply real. Will you prepare, or will you be caught off guard? The answer begins before your day even starts. The third Stoic morning practice. Moment of silence, 10 breaths to begin your day. Before the world fully wakes, before the noise of life seeps into your mind, there's a small window, a fragile but powerful space of silence. In that moment, you haven't yet checked your phone, opened your email, or stepped into the stream of tasks and demands. This space is your invitation to return to yourself, to find stillness, not by chance, but by choice. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, writing from the midst of war and imperial duty, often turned inward to his breath. He once said, "Peace lies within our grasp," and that peace begins, surprisingly, with something simple, a single breath. Not a performance, not an escape, just breath as a doorway to presence. Today, most mornings begin in haste. People wake up to alarms, schedules, headlines, and expectations. But what if, instead of jumping into motion, you paused? What if the first thing you did after opening your eyes was to sit up slowly, place your feet on the floor, and breathe? Here's a simple Stoic exercise. 10 intentional breaths. Sit upright, spine straight, shoulders relaxed. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Feel the air filling your lungs. Hold that breath gently for 2 seconds. Then exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds, releasing tension with every breath out. Repeat this cycle 10 times. You don't need to count on your fingers or force yourself into stillness. Let it be natural. Let it be quiet. You could use a simple timer, a small hourglass, or just the rhythm of your body. The aim isn't perfection, it's presence. And with each breath, something begins to shift. Science now supports what the Stoics intuited. This kind of breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that calms you down, lowers stress hormones, and prepares you for thoughtful action instead of impulsive reaction. You are not just calming your body, you are training your mind. What do you gain from this? A small pause that ripples through the rest of your day. Instead of rushing into conversations, you speak with calm. Instead of reacting to emails or social media posts, you respond with awareness. That moment of silence becomes a foundation, a quiet inner posture that helps you meet whatever comes next. You might think, I don't have time for this, but 10 breaths take less than 2 minutes. You could do them sitting on the edge of your bed, in your kitchen, or even as sunlight begins to spill through your window. No special equipment needed, no mantra required. Just breath and your willingness to meet the day with clarity. As Marcus Aurelius prepared for battles both political and personal, he began not with a sword but with silence. That's what makes Stoicism so enduring. It doesn't require withdrawal from the world. It asks for presence in the middle of it. So tomorrow morning, before anything else enters your awareness, give yourself a moment. Just 10 breaths. That's all. Inhale for strength, exhale for release. And in those breaths, remember, you are not a prisoner of your emotions. You are their master. And mastery begins with a pause. Will you try it? Just once, just 10 breaths, and let that silence become your strength. The fourth Stoic morning practice. Filter through 2 circles of control. A Stoic map for clarity. Your morning begins and already your mind is scattered. Emails wait unanswered. A meeting looms on the calendar. A vague unease creeps in. The feeling that you're falling behind, even before the day has truly started. It's easy to be overwhelmed. In modern life, control feels elusive. But what if you could sort through the chaos with one simple mental filter? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus offered a tool that is both ancient and powerfully relevant. The division between what you can control and what you cannot. Happiness and freedom begin, he wrote, with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control and some things are not. This insight isn't abstract, it's profoundly practical, a compass for the confused mind. Here's a small morning Stoic exercise. Take a piece of paper, draw 2 columns. Label the left what I control and the right what I don't control. Before you write anything down, take a deep breath, in for 4 seconds, hold for 2, out for 6. Let your nervous system settle before your pen hits the page. Now, begin. In the right-hand column, list the obvious. Other people's reactions, the weather, your coworker's mood, the market's movements. You cannot change these no matter how much energy you spend worrying. They live outside your circle of influence. In the left column, list the small but powerful things you do own: your tone of voice, your posture in a meeting, the clarity of your communication, your preparation. These may seem minor, but they are where your real strength resides. They are your inner fortress. Why does this matter? Because when your attention is fixed on what you cannot control, anxiety grows. You start measuring your worth by outcomes instead of effort. You wait for replies, for recognition, for the world to behave in a way that suits your expectations. But when you return your focus to what you can control, something shifts. You become calm, deliberate, steady. Imagine this. You've sent a proposal to an important client. Days pass, no response. Your mind begins spinning. Did they hate it? Are they ignoring you? What if the deal is lost? These thoughts live in the right-hand column, the world beyond your control. But you have a choice. You can return to your column, revise your proposal, clarify your message, improve your follow-up. That shift from worry to action is the power of this practice. You're not giving up on outcomes. You're grounding yourself in effort. You're choosing where to place your energy. This doesn't just build productivity, it builds peace, and the effect compounds. The more you train your mind to filter through these two circles, the faster your awareness responds. Instead of spiraling, you recenter. Instead of frustration, you choose clarity. This is how Stoics become immovable, not by resisting life, but by accepting it and acting wisely within it. Tomorrow morning, try this exercise. Take 3 minutes. Don't overthink it. Just be honest. What is yours to shape today, and what must you release? This simple act, drawing 2 columns, can become your daily map. Not just for productivity, but for inner freedom. We cannot control the world, but we can control how we meet it. And sometimes all it takes is a pen, a breath, and a little Stoic wisdom. The 5th Stoic Morning Practice, the Morning Stoic Journal. 5 lines to shape your day. Each morning offers a quiet moment before the world enters, a fragile pause before emails, notifications, and obligations rush in. For the modern mind, constantly pulled in 100 directions, that moment can feel fleeting. But what if you could capture it? What if you could ground your day with a simple, reflective ritual rooted in wisdom thousands of years old? The Stoics believed that writing wasn't just about recording thoughts. It was about shaping character. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, didn't write his meditations for others. He wrote them to remind himself of who he wanted to be. His journal was not a diary. It was a tool for becoming. Today, we can follow that same practice with a small yet powerful habit. A morning Stoic journal of 5 lines. It doesn't need to be elaborate. You don't need a leather-bound notebook or the perfect pen. Just a quiet space, a few honest thoughts, and your willingness to meet the day with intention. Line 1, asterisk, asterisk. What am I grateful for today? It might be something simple, the warmth of your coffee, the roof above your head, the presence of someone who cares. Gratitude grounds us. It reminds us that abundance is not found in more, but in noticing what we already have. When you start your day from a place of thankfulness, comparison and anxiety begin to lose their grip. Line 2, asterisk, asterisk. If a challenge arises, how will I respond? This is your mental rehearsal, your premeditatio malorum. Maybe it's the possibility of a difficult conversation or an unexpected delay. Write your response in advance. If I'm interrupted, I will pause and listen. If someone speaks sharply, I will not mirror it. This practice doesn't prevent hardship, but it prepares your character to face it with steadiness. Line 3, asterisk, asterisk. What small act of kindness will I do today? Stoicism isn't cold or detached. It's rooted in virtue, and one of the highest virtues is kindness. Maybe you'll hold the door for someone, send a thoughtful message, or offer a quiet compliment. These small acts build inner strength, not the kind that dominates, but the kind that uplifts quietly and consistently. Line 4. Asterisk, asterisk. What core virtue will I practice today? Will it be courage, patience, humility, or temperance? Choose one, write it down, then carry it with you. Marcus Aurelius didn't begin his day with a to-do list. He began it with a to-be list. Who will you choose to be today? Line 5, asterisk, asterisk. A quote to guide me. Asterisk, asterisk. Something brief but powerful. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Or simply, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do. These words act as a quiet compass. When your day begins to drift, return to them. This practice doesn't take more than 3 to 5 minutes. But done consistently, it becomes a gentle but firm anchor. Instead of being swept into the day, you begin with clarity. Instead of reacting to life, you start with intention. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone or check your calendar, reach for a pen, sit with your thoughts, write 5 lines, and in doing so, you'll do what the Stoics did. Not chase control over the world, but cultivate command over yourself. The 6th Stoic Morning Practice. Set a virtue goal, not a result. A Stoic reframing of success. When you wake up in the morning and set your goals for the day, what do they sound like? I need to close 5 deals. I want to get a promotion. I hope my work is recognized. These are the kinds of goals we're taught to pursue, measurable, tangible, often tied to outcomes. But what if there's a better way to aim? What if you measured success not by what you achieve, but by who you become? The Stoics offered a radical and refreshing shift in focus. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the world, didn't fixate on results. He focused on character. In his journal, he didn't write about power, money, or reputation. He wrote about patience, kindness, reason, and discipline. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, he said. That is the essence of a virtue goal. A virtue goal is something entirely within your control. It is not dependent on external circumstances, market conditions, or someone else's opinion. You can't control whether the client says yes, whether the audience applauds, or whether your manager praises your work. But you can choose to be honest, generous, patient, or disciplined, no matter what. Try this Stoic exercise. Instead of writing "Today I will succeed," write "Today I will act with integrity." Instead of "I will impress my boss," write "I will communicate clearly and with humility." These shifts may seem small, but they fundamentally change the source of your motivation. You move from chasing approval to anchoring in purpose. This doesn't mean Stoics rejected achievement. Seneca was wealthy, Marcus ruled an empire, but their lives were guided not by what they had, but by how they lived. They knew that when you tie your worth to external success, your peace becomes fragile. But when you tie it to virtue, your peace becomes unshakable, because it's rooted in your own choices. Let's imagine a common situation. You prepare diligently for an important meeting. You speak with clarity and confidence, but the deal falls through. Have you failed? According to the world's standards, maybe. But by Stoic standards, no. If you upheld your values, responded with poise, and maintained your integrity, then you've already succeeded. So tomorrow morning, ask yourself, What kind of person do I want to be today? Then make that your goal. Courage, honesty, patience, fairness. Choose one. Carry it with you through each task, each interaction, each challenge. When virtue is your compass, you'll find that success often follows. And even when it doesn't, you'll know you walked your path with strength and clarity. Isn't that what truly matters? The seventh Stoic morning practice. Train the body to train the mind. A Stoic path to resilience. In the modern world, many people seek clarity, peace, and inner strength through mental practices alone. Meditation, journaling, therapy. These are important tools, no doubt. But the Stoics knew something that often gets overlooked. To train the mind, you must also train the body. Cato, one of Rome's most respected Stoics, was known for walking barefoot through the city, even in rough weather. Not because he needed to, but because he chose discomfort deliberately. He understood that the mind grows stronger when it learns to withstand physical hardship. The path to mental resilience often begins with the willingness to challenge the body. So what might this look like for us today? In a world of climate-controlled homes, soft routines, and convenience at every turn. It doesn't require extreme discipline or a Spartan lifestyle. It can begin with something as simple as a brisk walk before sunrise, a set of push-ups, or holding a 1-minute plank after waking. Here's a Stoic exercise. Tomorrow morning before your day begins, move your body for 10 minutes, not to burn calories or chase fitness goals, but to awaken your will. Do a few stretches, walk outside if you can, feel the ground beneath your feet, and remind yourself, this body is not a burden. It is your vessel for strength. When you push through even mild discomfort, the cold air, the fatigue, the resistance, you're not just exercising muscles. You're practicing discipline. You're telling your mind, I do not avoid what is hard, I face it. And this practice builds a foundation that carries into every other part of life. Studies show that physical movement increases not just endorphins, the feel-good chemicals, but also BDNF, a protein that supports brain growth and cognitive function. So when your body moves, your mind resets. The chaos of your to-do list becomes a clear sequence of tasks. The emotional fog lifts. You feel ready, not reactive. Marcus Aurelius, though an emperor, trained like a soldier. Epictetus, though physically disabled, emphasized control over what you can, and that includes how you treat your body. They knew the body and mind are not separate. They reflect one another. To cultivate strength within, start by standing tall without. Perhaps this morning you reach for your phone, but tomorrow reach for the floor. Ask yourself, can I stretch for 60 seconds? Can I push through 5 slow squats? Can I get out of bed immediately when the alarm rings instead of hitting snooze? These small choices matter. They shape how you enter the day, not groggy and reluctant, but alert and ready. And in those final breaths of effort, when your muscles are shaking and your lungs are burning, you may notice something surprising, a deep silence within, a moment of stillness born not from sitting still, but from motion. That's the paradox the Stoics understood. Move your body, even a little, and your mind will follow. Train one and you train the other. Begin tomorrow, not for performance, but for presence. The 8th Stoic morning practice. Touch nature and light. A Stoic way to begin the day. In the rush of modern life, mornings often begin under artificial light, in enclosed spaces, accompanied by the buzzing of phones and the demands of digital connection. Before most people have spoken a word or taken a breath of fresh air, they're already immersed in screens and schedules. But the Stoics invite us to consider a different beginning. one grounded in simplicity, presence, and connection with the natural world. Before stepping into your tasks, before even checking your messages, open a window. Better yet, step outside. Let your feet touch the earth. Feel the cool air on your skin and welcome the light of day. This small act, just 2 or 3 minutes, is not a luxury. It is a return to something essential. Marcus Aurelius often wrote his meditations at dawn, not for public praise, but to clarify his mind before the world interfered. The Stoics believed that nature holds wisdom, not because it speaks in words, but because it shows us how to be. The sun rises without needing applause. The trees grow without hurry. The seasons turn with quiet confidence. Can we learn to begin our day with that same stillness and assurance? Science now confirms what ancient wisdom intuited. When natural sunlight reaches your eyes in the early morning, it begins recalibrating your body's internal clock. Melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy, fades. In its place, serotonin rises, a neurotransmitter that lifts mood, sharpens focus, and energizes the body for the day ahead. You don't need a double shot of espresso, you need morning light. Try this Stoic exercise. Tomorrow morning, take 2 minutes before doing anything else. Step out onto your porch, your balcony, or even stand by an open window. Don't say anything. Don't check the weather app. Just look at the sky, breathe in the air, and feel the light. It doesn't matter if you live in a quiet suburb or a noisy city. Nature is not only forests and rivers, it's the breeze, the sky, the rhythm of breath in your lungs. This act is about presence, about remembering that you are a part of something larger than your calendar. When you touch nature first thing in the morning, you're reminding yourself, you don't have to control everything. You only need to show up, fully awake and alive to this moment. So much of modern anxiety stems from disconnection, from being cut off from ourselves, from each other, and from the living world around us. But in just a few minutes of light and air, you begin to repair that connection. You remember that before the noise, before the pressure, there is calm. Start tomorrow with nature, not notifications. Let the morning light not just wake your body, but your deeper awareness. That small pause may be the most powerful thing you do all day. The 9th Stoic Morning Practice. A small act of giving, starting the day with Stoic generosity. In a world that often praises accumulation of wealth, status, attention, the idea of beginning your day by giving something away may feel counterintuitive. Yet for the Stoics, giving wasn't weakness, it was strength. Not the kind of strength that dominates, but the kind that connects. And in that connection lies resilience. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." These words remind us that true richness is not measured by how much we have, but by how willing we are to share, even in small, quiet ways. Before you dive into your workday, before the demands of emails, deadlines, and obligations pull at your attention, pause. Ask yourself, what small gift can I offer today? It doesn't have to be grand. It could be a sincere compliment, a helping hand, a message to check in on someone, or simply your full presence when someone speaks. Here's a Stoic exercise. As part of your morning routine, choose one simple act of giving. Set no expectations for recognition or reward. Just give. Hold the door for someone. Let another driver merge ahead of you. Send a kind note to a colleague. These are not distractions from your day. They are the foundation of it. Modern science supports this ancient wisdom. Acts of kindness activate the brain's social reward systems, increasing feelings of warmth, connection, and stability. When you give, you don't lose energy. You generate it. You anchor yourself in your values before the world begins pulling you in every direction. There's also a practical strength in this habit. When adversity inevitably arrives, a difficult meeting, a frustrating email, or a moment of self-doubt, you can recall that earlier act of giving. It becomes a source of calm, a quiet reminder that you are capable of choosing integrity even in chaos. In today's culture, it's easy to believe that strength means self-protection, but the Stoics saw it differently. True strength is not about hardening yourself against the world, but opening yourself to it, wisely, deliberately, and without fear. So tomorrow morning, as you rise and begin to shape your day, include one small, intentional act of generosity. No one else needs to know. That's part of its power. When you give without being seen, you strengthen not just the world around you, but the world within you. You can't control how your day will unfold, but you can control how you begin it. And when you begin with giving, you carry a quiet strength into everything that follows. The 10th Stoic Morning Practice. Remember death, memento mori, a Stoic awakening to life. There's a truth we often avoid, but the Stoics faced it head on. You will die. At first, these words may feel unsettling or even harsh, but to the Stoic mind, they are not grim. They are grounding. Memento mori, remember you must die, is not a morbid fixation. It is a call to awaken. Not later, not someday, but now. In today's world, it's easy to live as if time is endless. We scroll through our mornings, distracted, rushing, worrying about things we cannot control. But imagine for a moment that this day, this morning, could be your last. Would you still reach for your phone first? Would you still postpone the kind words, the hard choices, the honest conversations? Seneca wrote, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." He wasn't trying to scare us. He was trying to stir us. When you carry memento mori in your heart, you begin to see clearly. The small annoyances shrink. The important things come forward. Life becomes not just something to survive, but something to truly live. Here's a Stoic exercise. In the quiet of morning, sit for a moment before starting your day. Take 10 slow breaths. As you inhale, feel the gift of being alive. As you exhale, silently whisper, "I could leave life today." Don't rush through it. Let it sit with you. This isn't about fear. It's about clarity, about realizing that each breath is not guaranteed, and that is what makes it precious. You can even keep a reminder in sight, a calendar marked with the days of your life, or a small token that grounds you in this truth. For some, it's a coin. For others, a quote on the wall. Whatever form it takes, let it bring your awareness back to what matters. Memento mori doesn't make you passive, it makes you urgent. It asks, if this is your last opportunity to show patience, will you take it? If this is your final moment to forgive, will you choose to hold on or let go? It strips away illusion and invites presence. When the day grows heavy, when frustration builds or distraction creeps in, you can return to this truth. You are alive. You are breathing. This moment is yours to shape. In that awareness, there is deep power. Not power over others, but power over how you live. The Stoics didn't fear death, they feared wasting life. And perhaps that is what we all need to remember. Memento mori is not about dying. It's about deciding. Deciding to live with intention, to speak with truth, to act with courage, and to love without delay. So tomorrow morning, before anything else, pause. Look out the window, feel the light, breathe, and ask yourself, if today were the last, how would I live it? Then rise, not with fear, but with clarity, and begin the day fully awake. If something in this video stirred a quiet part of you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Timeless Lessons. The next video might not just teach you something new, it might reveal something you've always carried within.